Our coaches are like the best people ever, but like we're raised by them to be good people. I've learned more from cheer for like everything than I have in high school, I think.
It's an escape.
Cause like there's not really anything to think about when you're there besides cheer. Even in summer practice, there's nothing else to think about, but like it's a distraction, but also a good place to use any emotions, anger and tumbling.
And I love seeing her, and being her mom and watching her do all this has been very different for me because hello.
Hey, everybody.
Welcome to episode 13.
13.
Wow.
Lucky.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. As you can tell, we have a special guest.
Yes. Very special.
Yes.
And this guest is 18 years old. She is a recent high school graduate.
Woo-woo.
And a professional, I would say professional, competitive all-star cheerleader.
Oh,
Absolutely.
She also is the daughter of myself.
Let's go.
So I have spoken about Aniah many times on the podcast, different reasons.
Some were good. Some were good.
Some were good.
Some
Mostly good.
Yes, mostly
they were good.
good.
They were good.
Yes, absolutely.
And the reason why we decided to bring her on is because she has a full ability to talk about so many different things. She's not only the young adult, she's also, very much into sports. She struggled with her own mental health. And she is my daughter. So this girl she knows this is going to be raw.
All of the above.
Yeah, raw and relatable. And I'm okay. And I'm giving you the floor that don't worry about me here, because if you want to say something, you say it.
Safe space.
Safe space.
I already
Don't
do that
disrespect
anyway.
me. I know. See.
Oh.
Oh, that's good.
Okay.
But, so Aniah, we know that I just want to start off by saying, won't give too much of your mental health because that's your personal stuff, but whatever you want to share is up to you. But this child has told me many times how important cheer has been for her mental health. And that makes me think of sports in general for kids and what it does for them. A lot of people are just like, oh, well, let's just keep them busy. Let's just do this. No, it is more than that.
Absolutely.
Can you tell us what cheer and being in a sport has done for you in your life?
I feel like it's a place to go where like, I don't know, to get away from home or anything. Not that home is bad, but it has been before.
It has been before. Yeah. And has it been like an escape for you?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's an escape.
Cause like, there's not really anything to think about when you're there besides cheer. Like, even in summer practices, like not having a routine, like there's nothing else to think about. So like, it's a distraction, but also a good place to like, I don't know, use your any emotions, anger and tumbling.
I like that.
Or anything like, I don't know.
Getting out that frustration or stress or anxiety that you have, you're able to like
Yeah.
put it out there on the floor
Yeah.
in competition.
I can't like overthink about something if I'm upside down.
Or throwing a girl in the air.
Yeah. I can't think about something that's going on at home or in school if I'm focusing on something else.
How long have you been doing cheer, Aniah?
Since I was 12, so.
But before that, she was in gymnastics
And
and
dance.
dance, a hip hop.
I was like really young though, so like,
right.
it wasn't really that competitive, I don't think.
And at that time, I would say, well, around 8, 9 years old, that's probably when some events in her life would have impacted her own mental health. So I think, of course, everyone knows in middle school, that's kind of when everyone changes into aliens. Look at her face. I mean, she admits it. Middle school, she always says, like, I don't even know who I was in middle school. Like, she knew.
But you're not supposed to. And that's,
No.
and that's what's happening. And I know that we had done some education and I taught middle school, PE, and I'm an athlete. So, but I mean, and I think, but that's the problem is that there used to be a much broader way for kids to feel kind of out of place. And now I think, especially when we had COVID and everything dropped and, we've had a lot of sports that are not school related. And so it's like there's almost like a disconnect. And I know cheer is one of those in particular because, I'm coming from high school cheer and I did cheer, my whole life too. And Aniah and I, we're little cheer babies. But all-star cheer is very, very different than high school cheer. because you're not cheering games, you're not doing sidelines, you're not doing anything. And it is just so strictly focused. So it's like, if there was anything going on in middle school too, it's like, but you're still not getting the connection to school. So, you know what I mean? It's like, you still have this great thing, like, cause you kept saying escape, but I'm like, let me ask you this. How does that affect you? Like, cause you never did school cheer, correct? It was just competitive.
Yeah.
So if you could combine them, would you do cheer also with your education, or do you like keeping it separate?
I like keeping it separate. And because like on my team, there's girls of all different ages, not like super far apart, but like, I don't know if like I could just be on a team with high school girls because they're mean. They're different.
Mean, yeah.
We're like an all-star, like our coaches are like the best people ever, but like we're like raised by them to be good people.
So it's like more like a family?
Yeah, it's like a family. I feel like high school isn't really a family. Like they're all different. But like, I don't know. Our coaches definitely, I think, have shaped the way we are in a good way. Like I've learned more from cheer for like everything than I have in high school, I think.
That's a huge statement. I love it because, yes, education is important, but you've learned other valuable things from cheer between teammates, what it feels like to lose, what it feels like to win, what it feels like to, get out that frustration, to have to suck it up sometimes and all that. And I think that's so important. And that's
Very important.
Yeah.
I think too, it teaches a lot of discipline, right? It teaches you to be accountable, right? Be accountable to the team. And, let's just say if you did have a hard day or a hard, competition, you guys still stood together as a team because you're a family. Yeah. So I think it teaches a lot of those values also, while you're having fun and competing.
Yeah, all the time. Even conditioning, like last night we conditioned so hard, like all of us had sweat dripping down our face, and our coach was like, "Your team, like you all have to do it together. One person stops holding their plank, we go again." Like stuff like that. Like we always are reminded that we're a team. It's not just a one person sport. No one's on the bench. They're all together.
So let me ask you this. What's your definition of team? And this is what I'm asking because I know where she's coming from, but there's a lot of coaches out there that are not coaches. There's a lot of teams out there that are not teams. And so, anybody to say like, oh, they're a mean person or they're this and that, y'all know I go attitude reflects leadership right here. And so there's a lot of fall there, but I want to know, because when you're on a team, it is a team. So I want to just get like, what is your definition of team?
People who love and support each other through everything. People who can talk to each other when they're mad and upset, and like you can work through things together no matter what. And just like, I don't know, like no one's like mean to each other. Everyone always like wants to pick each other up. No one's against each other.
So that's what I want to hear.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of times where there's so much competition within and it doesn't work. And so, as I said, collaboration, because one of the things we've always said is that, one of the things is like some of y'all are not going to like each other off the mat, but when you're on the mat, you will respect each other. You work for each other. You know what I mean? And so there is that underlying, like, this is where you are. You're not going to be best friends forever, but right here, if you're going to be on this team, this is what this team represents.
And like, you can hold each other accountable. Like, if I see someone like slacking, like we love each other that much that I can be like, come on, like, let's go. What are you doing? We're a team. Let's go. Let's all be the best we can be.
Absolutely. What would you say one of your greatest highlights is as far as cheer? What was one of your greatest moments? If you can
I have a
recall.
lot.
Ooh, tell us a one, a good one. Yeah, or you can tell us many.
Definitely the first time winning Summit, which is nationals, was like the best feeling ever. Cause I've never like won before. Cause I was like when I kind of just started cheer. And then when we triple crown, when we won NCAA cheer sport and UCA and won Summit. And yeah, winning every time is like the best feeling.
And what does it feel like to lose? Because you've lost too. What does it feel like to lose?
So we lost Summit one time. Actually, twice. One was like COVID. We got second, which was like fine. I was really happy even just getting second because I was like COVID. But we actually lost in 2024. And that was like the worst feeling I've ever felt.
And just to add on to that, you guys were undefeated the entire season.
Yeah.
Wow.
So her team was undefeated, and it was pretty much like the final like picture, if you want to think about it, summit being like football.
The Super Bowl of cheerleading.
It's the Super Bowl of cheerleading, and they all fumbled to the ground on their final, and they were undefeated the entire. So it was almost like, but it humbled them.
I was going to ask, as a team, how did you guys bounce back from that?
Oh, we bounced back. Like the next season, like we didn't play any games. We all held each other accountable. Like that's why we triple crown. Like we knew that we never wanted to feel that feeling again. I never wanted to feel that. Like none of us did. I even wrote an essay about it for one of my college classes because it impacted me a lot. And I knew that I would never like let anything happen to me or my team to let something like that happen again.
So it sounds like to me that this is really like a part of you. Like cheer is a part of you. Like it's who you are.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because sometimes people take on sports or, you know, different activities just to do it and not that anything's wrong with it, but this seems like it's a part of who you are.
Yeah. And I love seeing her, and being her mom and watching her do all this has been very different for me because, you know, I was like a sports girly. Like I played volleyball, soccer, softball. I did all the like boy sports, the Nellinator, and she's Annihilator, by the way.
Yeah.
So isn't that funny? That's her nickname. But that was me. I didn't know what cheer was. I was never into cheer. And so seeing her be passionate about something that I can't even relate to is amazing. I've learned so much, and I'm still not a pro, but I definitely don't feel like a cheer mom because I'm not all into it and I still don't know a lot of things. But seeing my daughter in general, like I said, it does for her mental health, how it got her through so much and how passionate and disciplined. And it's just teaching her so much outside of the math.
Right. And it's good though, too, that you supported her through it all. I mean, I made that highlight for a reason because sometimes, you know, the kids aren't supported enough to, you know, I mean, it could be for many different reasons, but she had that support from you and she was able to just do what she did because you actually, you held her up. So that's great also that you have supportive parents who hold you up, you know, parents, y'all.
Yeah.
Who hold you up, you know? How does that feel? Because, you know, sometimes, you know, you may have friends that may not have that, you know. How did that feel to have your mom's prayer? I mean, I know it probably, you know, sometimes was like, but how did that feel for you?
It feels good. I think everyone has to have a supportive parent. Like, I don't know any of my friends who don't have supportive parents, but yeah, it's good. I love her. She does everything.
But see, and I want to go just because I have a different outlook. And I, you know, coached all-star long time. I love the high school. Y'all know I came from education. But what I've seen is that, you know, like what you said, everybody has supportive parents. And we know in public education, that's not the case. And we know that coaches actually take on a role. And you said something earlier, which I loved because you said these coaches have taught me so much. And anytime, like if people talk about my story, I say athletics also saved my life, you know, because it was like all this other stuff that didn't make sense or, you know, was out of control. This made sense to me for some reason. Like it was fun. And I feel like I was in control of something, but it was my coaches, like one in particular, my high school coach who literally like, she was kind of the one that like, I didn't want to disappoint, you know? And so that was it. And so I always knew like, I'm going to pay it forward because it is something like you either are like when people go, oh yeah, you know, I go to the gym or I do this or I'm not, I'm like, yeah, but an athlete, you're just different, you know, because you, like I said, you win together, you lose together, you throw up together, you train together, you're sick together. Shoes are flying, everything. But it is like, nobody can take that from you, you know, good, bad, or indifferent. But, you know, that is, like I said, having those parents are so wonderful and so amazing. But I have seen so many of my colleagues, you know, and like football or anything else to where we know that sometimes, you know, a parent or parents or guardians or whatever are not there, walk kids across the field on senior night, come in here and there for signing. You know, we've all done all of that stuff. And so, you know, you are very blessed because you have a wonderful family, you know, and cheer. And then we know you have a wonderful family here, you know, which is double blessed. And I know I'm pretty sure you're coaching now.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Ooh.
Gotta know. Different pressure.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I've been coaching for a while, but now like I have multiple teams and then I'm going to have my own team this year.
Okay, congratulations.
Yeah.
Very good.
Because one of the coaches I coach with, she's moving. So I have to take over one of the teams. And that's like, I'm excited, but it's like, I never done that.
She's getting paid now. So
There it is.
So
There it
before she was a junior coach, like just helping and supporting.
Volunteering, because I was
Volunteering. Yeah. So now she's an actual coach. And so it is. She has to clock in and out and things like that. So I'm very proud of her because it's teaching her, like you said, a different stressor.
Right.
But I just have to say, like, an add-on before I forget about the coaches. So as you said before, like, you know, yes, you know, I'm there for her up front and center, but let me tell you, her and I get at it sometimes.
That's why I went,
oh yeah. Her and I wanted to throw punch her a time or two, and she wants to do the same to me.
I was going to say, we know.
So we know, but you know, at the end of the day, we get through it. And the same thing with the coaches, you know, like she struggled with all of her coaches, and I know the coaches understand, you know, and I, you know, being a parent, having that balance is I don't want to like overstep them being coaches because I know but I also respect them. And sometimes I'm frustrated as a parent, but at the end of the day, just like I did with teachers, it's like, I got to let you have your space. I got to let you do your thing. And I may not agree with the way they do things, but I know that they love her and I know what respect she has gained from them and what they've taught her and things that I can't even do. So they are another parent for her. They are there for her. And she knows that, you know, the tears that she shed, she can go to some of these coaches and they will hold her and be there for her, like as if it were me. So I just have to say to all coaches out there, like, you know, although parents can get frustrated and stuff, I know I can speak for myself and probably most parents that have kids in sports is that we do hold the utmost respect for what they do. I've never been a coach, so I can't relate, but I just know what they have done to my daughter and seen her.
Well, and a lot of times coaches, and I say this to a lot of even my families that I work with, because a lot of the parents will say like, Coach, I hear your name more in my house, or, you know, Dr. Robin here. I go, but we have a different relationship, you know, and it was funny. I was listening to one of the things about families and I said how we get conditioned. Like you guys, y'all know each other. You're not worried about loving each other or anything else. You can kind of go to, but it's almost like we have such a different responsibility to them and we see them objectively, but we still love, like pour into them. But it's because we love it so much too, you know? And so I know in coaching and learning, I mean, I'm always learning but coaching, I think, was more nerve-wracking for me than just being an athlete because I don't know. I think it's like, that's why I can't wait because you haven't taken one to competition yet. So I have to have this next year, but only because I can't wait to see the first time when you're just like, oh my gosh, like, is this really happening?
Right. And that's because she knows, or as a coach, I'm sure, you know what you want to see, right? And you can relate. And yet, you know, I think those are the coaches that are like, if you don't, like if somebody's just on the outside looking in, they may say, oh, this coach is so mean, this coach, blah, blah, blah. But the coach just knows the potential that's in, you know, the team. And so that's why it may seem like the coach is mean or the coach is always picking on you or, you know, different things like that. But she, as a coach, she'll know what she wants to see in her team. So
I think she's also going to see that. Well, one, it's funny because I know when we had our junior coaches that were coming in, they actually ended up becoming better athletes because they were like, we get it now. You know, you get that both because, you know, sometimes you're like, why are you? And then they come up, we're sorry. We get it now because it is when you are, you know, there's a lot of frustration, but that's that learning and that's that good, you know.
Still fun.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's what I tell them everybody at the end of the day. I'm like, this is a game. Like, we are having a good time. Like this, would you rather be anywhere else? Well, this is hard. And I said, if it was easy, everybody would do it. You know?
Yeah. She's dedicated and she's there 5-6 days a week, you know,
I know
and
she
always
is.
in the gym. So, and it's good for your health.
Even on breaks.
Yeah. Even on breaks.
Close
She's
to
in there.
sick, I'm definitely going.
Yeah.
So what would you, if you would change anything, what would you change? Looking back now, if you could have changed anything, what would that have been?
My like whole cheer career?
Yeah, just in general.
The first thing that comes to my mind is taking care of my body better with like injuries. Cause I don't listen to my body, but cause I don't like to take time off. Like the doctor's like, you need to stay out. I'm like, no, but I can't really think of anything else. Maybe like when I was younger, like watching my attitude with my coaches.
Okay. It's a good one.
Cause I know I had attitude.
No, cause I'm glad you said that. Why do you think you had attitude? Cause I heard this earlier and I wanted to come back to it.
Cause I was a bratty teenager back then.
You wanted to
Or
get
I was
away?
But
frustrated.
this was that. Are you more confident now than you were then?
Yeah.
So
I know a
you
lot
think it
more
was
about
insecurities?
respect. Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. Usually it's like, because I know when you talked about the mental health and coming in, and that's where I think sometimes people like, they're like, oh, this kid isn't coachable or this one. And I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And I think that's what I'm saying. What's going on? You know, and a lot of times it's like, when you get to know your athlete, you know, as we do, you know what's going on.
Right.
Or
And they may be
sometimes,
struggling
you know,
inwardly.
Right. And so you
You know,
kind of
with
give a
an
little
insecurity.
pass or you come over here,
Absolutely.
but there's still that, hey, listen,
Mhm.
you know, because it's almost is to like let you know, like, we've got you, but you got to believe it.
I've never
You
been,
know?
I don't think, not coachable. Like, I've rarely had attitude, I think. Like, to my coaches, you know how
Mom over here like,
To you, Mom, yes. But
Yeah,
not to my
exactly.
coaches.
to my
Yeah.
coaches, like, rarely. I've been like, rarely, I don't know.
Yeah. We'll ask them. We'll have to bring one of them in one time.
You will. They love me.
No, they do. No,
Yeah.
she's great. What is one thing that you would say if you could give advice to, let's say, parents, like, and please throw me under the bus, okay? If you can give one thing that, let's say, parents do wrong when it comes to either having their kids in sports or saying no to their kids to do sports, or like, what do you think? Like, what do you say to that?
I don't think you should ever say no. Like, if I have a kid and they want to do something, I'm going to say yes. Unless I can't afford it, but like, hopefully I'm making good money when I'm older. I would never say that a kid can't do something like a sport-wise, because sports are good for you
Mhm.
and your mental health. But
how about like at games and at competitions?
being frustrated at your kid when like they're like trying to be in their zone and trying to lock in and like not be stressed, because like competitions can be stressful because you're nervous, and like your parent being frustrated with you, like, it just doesn't make anything better. Like, just be calm. And if I'm not really ever mean to her, like, ever, I don't think.
Okay, so you don't think you've given me attitude? Of course, I see it.
No,
differently.
I've given you attitude, but like, not like stupid mean. Like, I see some kids that are like, shut up, Mom. Like, I've never done that. Like,
No,
anything.
and but that has to do with just
That's a
plain and
parenting.
respect.
That's
That's what I mean.
that would
respect.
never.
And I have to say, I don't think you've ever told me to shut up.
No.
No,
like,
I
ever
never
in my
have.
life. So, but like, no, and she's valid. Like, I, as a parent, know I had to check myself a few times because she was already stressed. And then if I make it worse and then I flip out and I'm making her feel bad. And trust me, when in hindsight, like, give myself time to cool down, I'm like, okay, that was a really shitty parent right there. Like, I did.
And there it is.
There's my
There's
curse.
her
Because they don't perform their best when they,
Oh, yeah.
under that type
and
of
that's
pressure.
and that's what I say. It depends on the kid, because I know we've always talked about, you know, what strong personality, but me being a coach and then also being a parent, and my son, of course, good athlete, but he's a little more like Aniah, like not as like fiery as we are. And he literally said to me one day, he's like, Mom, like, you gotta stop. Like, you gotta stop, because like he would get up to bat or, you know, baseball and everything else. And he's like, all he heard was my voice, and it just freaked him out. And I mean, he told me that. I was so glad he did. And it's funny because as a coach and every, you know, thing else, I now use that. And when I'm doing sports psych with some of my clients, it's like I'm coach, I'm athlete, I'm everything else. And so that's where we really go. But I love that, you know, having those, you know, moments of saying, Mom, like, I love you. Dad, please, you know, because as coaches, we see it, you know, we see it too. And we always kind of know the parents and this and that. And we try to, you know, diffuse it as much as possible. And we know that there are some parents that, again, you know, they don't mean to, but do more harm than good, you know, and that can really mess with an athlete.
Yeah. And
You
I'm
know?
guilty. And like I
We
said, I
all
own
are.
it.
Yeah.
I definitely own it. And, you know, we always talk it out after and stuff.
But we
yeah.
also learn, and then we go,
Yeah.
and that's what I'm saying. A lot of times they don't realize, because everybody's so excited, but you know, it is hard.
And
you
it's a
know?
lot on the parents in this type of thing. And I'm sure I know there's other sports, you know, that the parents have to give a lot of their time and attention to. Like, it is very sacrificing. She knows, financially, emotionally, you know, time, all of that stuff. It's a lot for a parent too. So, and I know and I've always known with her, she's appreciated it. Like, I know she doesn't have to tell me every day, thank you, but like, I know she does, because we're connected in that way. And I know she appreciates it. And knows that I sacrificed a lot. So.
Right. And I mean, and you know, that's usually it. Now, I do want to kind of like stray away, but I have to ask y'all were at the competition, and I believe your granddaughter maybe too the one that was in Texas this
Oh,
year.
gosh.
So all I know is that y'all were at competition. I'm up the next morning, I'm doing something, and I start getting these feeds through whatever. And I'm like putting two and two together going, wait, what? What? And I'm like, oh my gosh. So I immediately, Nella, are you good or what's happening? Everything. Oh my God, are you okay? And there was like, I don't know, shootings, not shootings, something. It was
scary.
Scary.
It was a threat, or no, there was a fight that broke out and something about
I think there was a fight, and then there also was like a gun out.
a gun.
We
of some
weren't
sort.
there.
So we were about to leave.
Yeah, the whole team was about to leave,
Mm-hmm.
but our coaches were there,
the coaches were there.
and
so
they
it
were
was scary.
texting us and were like, "Don't come, don't come."
Yeah, because we were all literally about to leave. But I know I saw several parents coming back to our hotel, and they were all like, I mean, kids crying, everybody. It was really scary, to have.
Yeah, to see even like the feed and the kids just running and not knowing anything, and there's barricades, and it was terrifying even on this side of it, thinking about, because cheer competitions, there's thousands of people there, and everybody knows, and it's all packed in, and there's so many logistical things happening and going on and you're going on. But what I was going to say is that a lot of times athletes like almost are able to face adversity so much better, because like even after that, you guys had to compete for like the next 2 days, I think. And didn't like everything get pushed back and y'all were competing at like 12:30 at night. And I know we had to do that a few times at ESPN, and we're in the rain and we're wet and shoes are, and it was just like our athletes are dying, they're just like, oh my gosh. And you go, so with all of that, I'm saying like, do you think that helps in other areas? Like, of your life outside of cheer?
I don't know. I feel like it didn't really impact me that much because I wasn't there. But like, I feel bad for people who were there, and I prayed for them. But
hopefully, they never have to face that kind of adversity.
yeah,
that was.
I hope I don't ever have to experience something like that.
Yeah, I hope that
I'm definitely more cautious. So that's like, I'm always cautious. So but I'm like at comps. I'm like, if I have like a little one near me, I'm like looking around.
Yeah. She's definitely more hyper vigilant since then, which she already was before, and anxious and stuff. So,
it does make me anxious sometimes. I noticed like after that competition, like I was definitely a little bit more like, what if, I don't know.
And that's what I'm saying. That's the sad thing is that, it's almost like kids, you guys are just faced with so many things that we just weren't, we never thought about anything like that because it just wasn't there. It just wasn't there. We were going in, doing our thing. We're competing. This was great, and now it's just like, here we are, these little babies trying to do their thing, trying to do the right thing. But yet, you've got just so many outside forces that are adding to your stress and I can, see possibly, like you said, if I'm a parent, like I would always let my child, but I can see parents going, I don't want them to do that. I don't want them to do that. And here's the thing, I'm 54, I've been cheering and gymnastics, most of my life. And just the stigma of it, oh, cheerleaders aren't real athletes. And I was like, okay, like, I love it. You throw a girl up or twist twice and catch her in one hand above your head. But that's cute. Like, that's with no helmet. I like that though. I like that. But so have you experienced, now, you're obviously young and cheer is different. But do you still get like stigma?
If someone's like, cheer's not a real sport though, I'm like, okay, I like to see you try what I do. That's all I say.
Yeah. Or you say, let me go ahead and arm wrestle you.
Yeah. Have y'all seen the guns?
I know.
Yeah, that too. Or I'm like, I saw this on like something where it's like, I can get at ESPN's World Wide of Sports. Like,
yeah.
No hobbies.
And where is it also getting ready to go? Well, they already have international. They have USA teams. One of my former athletes is one of the coaches, and it's going to be in the Olympics.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be in the Olympics.
Yeah. So anybody can say it's not a sport. It's like, I'm pretty sure that she has arm wrestled grown ass men and kicked their ass. So I'm just saying, and I love it because she has got some guns on her.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, on a different note, I wanted to ask you and talk about what it's like being you, or a teenager in general, like since you just graduated high school, like being a kid in this generation. Like, what is your take on it now that you're a little bit more mature? being that you're out of high school, what was it like being like a student athlete, but also like having to go through this generation around kids, around high school, and like the way it is?
Like, what are the pressures of your generation that you feel that you as a teenager or teenagers that you know go through? What are the pressures? And where's the pressure coming from?
I don't know. I don't really feel any pressure
No.
besides cheer.
Well, what about mental health in your school? Because I know you've known several people that have talked about self-harm, let's say, and or unfortunately have passed away because they've taken their own lives. So tell me what that's been like and what do you think is the problem? Like, what do you see?
I don't want to mean to parents, but I feel like it's a big, like, household and parent thing. Like, I don't know. I guess it can be hard to see if they're struggling, but I feel like when I have kids, I'm going to be really close with them so that where I know that if they're struggling with something, that they're going to tell me and that I can, like, get it fixed right away before something like that happens. But I think social media can be a part of it and how people are raised, like, people doing it because people they're around.
Are you talking about parents or kids?
Like, kids they're around, girlfriends, boyfriends, like, family life, people do it.
Yeah. And I like that you said it. You said like parents have a lot to do with it. So, I mean, what do you think a little bit about therapy? Maybe not what it's done for you, but like, do you think it's important?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very important.
Now, let me ask you this, because again, you're the child of a therapist. I mean, so, pretty badass one. And I know, like, with the boys, I was educator and therapist, but they were always bringing, hey, my mom will handle, hey, mom, I've got so-and-so. Hey, mom, can you help so-and-so? Or they were always, bringing, or there was, boys that didn't have things. Like, have you done that? Have you been like, hey, my mom will talk to you, or go talk to my mom, or hey, mom, I've got this kid, or I guess both of y'all. I mean,
I'm like, my
yeah.
oldest,
Yeah.
and I hope you're watching. She's like that. She goes, Mom, I told such and such that you're good with this, and you can. I'm like, yeah, but you just can't tell everybody.
Like, pimping us out.
Yeah.
I normally don't say to talk to my mom. I normally like ask my mom what to say.
Yeah. She's,
Because I don't want to overstep anyone's like boundaries.
Can you talk to my kids?
Uh-huh.
yeah. Or,
They show up at my house. They're just there. And I'm like, hey. No, I'm just kidding.
yeah. She's definitely told me some friends who have been struggling. And then she'll tell me, she goes, Mom, is this the right thing to say to this person? Like, they're like having really, bad thoughts and stuff like that. And, I'll ask her a little bit more questions because I just always like, I know we talked about it on another podcast, but like I don't know what it is. Maybe it's my field or I don't know. But every time I hear of a child taking their life, like it just does something to me. And I don't even have to know them because I know that they were struggling long before that happened. And I've known families and parents, like she said, parents are such a big part of it. It's like, don't ignore it.
Right.
Stop thinking my kid is fine. Stop thinking, okay, well, yeah, they have some scratches on them, or yeah, they're burning themselves, or yeah, they're doing this and that. It's like, take that seriously. It's a cry for help in some way. Maybe they're not going to do anything past that, but why risk it?
Right. And it's not just a phase.
Right.
Because parents will sometimes say that, like, oh, it's just a phase. No, it's not a phase. It's not a phase that's going to just somehow miraculously disappear. You have to speak to it.
But see, here's my thing. Don't you think that, well, one, kids are not going to act out unless they're hurting, like plain and simple, developmentally when you look at it. And obviously we know teenagers, but aren't those the same parents that if they take accountability, then they're going to have to face that they're part of the problem?
I think you would know that answer too.
What do you think about that?
Like parents not facing that they are a part of the problem. Like you've known people that have parents and that they're a part of the problem of why their kid is the way they are. Cause I know, a lot of people. So, and them taking accountability for why their child is acting a certain way, or maybe why they don't have a good relationship with their child, but them placing all the blame on the child.
Well, I don't think all of it is like, I know like people whose parent like isn't the problem, but like can help. And then I know people whose parents are like, had parents who were drug addicts, who were like, whatever. Like, I think that's a problem. Like, they should take accountability for that and stop so they can be better for their kid before it's too late. But like, I don't know.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Aniah has had a friend take their life. So it was, big on her, I know, in her life at that time. And, so Yeah, it's unfortunate that it's happening. And I want awareness out there. And I know Aniah has wanted it like out there as far as like people need to listen to their kids. And these kids, like she's mentioned a good point about social media. Like, what is it? I know you said social media. Like, what is it about social media that feels impacts
With girls, I think it's comparing themselves to people.
body image?
Body image. Like, I know friends who are just sad, like, because they don't like the way she looks. Like, I mean, even, like, everyone can compare themselves. Like, if, like, a lot of girls do that. But if it gets to a certain point, then it's like, you need help. Well, not, like, in a mean way, but, like, and then, like, for boys, I don't really know social media. Because I don't think boys, like, are that comparative, like, how girls are. But, I don't know.
It may be that boys have a harder time expressing how they feel.
Yeah, they do.
Because they feel if they do express it that, you know, they're soft or they're looked at as, you know, wimps or whatever. So it may be they hold their emotions in. Mm-hmm. And oftentimes that's what causes, you know, more issues with them.
So I have a question. A few weeks ago on one of our podcasts, and we were talking about, and I brought up that in class, remember I said it's like, everybody was saying how, oh, everybody's open or everybody's this or that, but they're the meanest people. And you said something earlier about when we said high school, you're like, no, they're mean. I don't want, like, you immediately just, so my question is, do you believe that social media has also created almost like a platform to be like mean to each other? Or do you think it's helping or?
No, I feel like it's just how they're raised.
She has a big opinion about how people are raised.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Go back to that parent household thing.
I mean, but that's good because that you say that. Like, I mean, as an 18-year-old saying that parents have such a big impact, like at home, of how it is.
Like, I've seen people be mean to each other on social media. That doesn't mean I'm going to do it. Like, I think it's also maturity.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, of course, I completely agree. And that's why I'm saying I love hearing that from you, because this is where people, like, there's so many people that want to point and say, oh, this generation, or oh, that. Y'all, we're sitting here with this generation right here saying it still starts in the household. It still starts in your family system, which we know. And I'm so tired of people going, oh, it's just this, or oh, it's just that, or oh, because of this, and oh, because of that. Because remember, love speaks the truth and difference makes excuses. And thank you, Aniah, for putting it out there. And I love when she goes, I don't want to be mean. It's not being mean. It is check yourself, as you say, self-reflection. Yes. Look within before you start pointing over here, you know? And that's the thing, is that children have got to be nurtured. They are not little adults, you know, but it takes a parent to get over themselves and parent your kid.
Yeah. I mean, I've always said too, and I said this in earlier podcasts, is like, parents, we got to apologize to our kids sometimes, because when we do make mistakes,
a lot of times,
yeah, we need to. And I hate the old generation in the sense of I'm the parent and you just have to listen.
Yeah. What I say goes.
What I say goes. And I don't care if you think I'm wrong, because you just got to do it. Like, how many times have I apologized to you? Yeah, because I mess up. I am a parent that messes up because I'm human, and we need to do that. And I feel like that's been so important for my kids, is to own it. You know, that I know I've made mistakes with them. I know I've made some bad turns, but when they have pointed out to me, being as they get older, you know, her older brother has said, Mom, you did X, Y, and Z, and it made me feel X, Y, and Z. Mm-hmm. You know, like, I'm like, damn, like, okay, like, you're right. I shouldn't have said it that way, or that's not what I meant. I apologize that it came out that way. You know, and her and I still, you know, she still lives at home, and there's still times like I put a lot of pressure on her. And, you know, I put a lot of pressure on her being 18 now, and it's just because I want her to thrive. But she always says that to me, Mom, I'm a young graduate.
Like a week ago, right?
Yeah, she literally just turned 18, and she's like, I'm young. I graduated young. Don't expect that of me. And I do. I have to be like, okay, she's not her brother. Her brother was like, bye.
But you know what else? She's not you.
She's not me. And I have to remember that too.
That's what I had to, there's a lot of her but that's what I had to do with Reagan too. It was like, oh yeah, he's not me.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's what I was going to ask you.
We do have to be mindful of that.
When do you know we're going from producing diamonds to bursting pipes? Because that's that pressure. Like, when do you know? Like, oh,
because and what I love is she'll tell me, She will tell me if I'm putting too much pressure on her. And then I also, when I know it's good for her, like literally just before the podcast, she was like, I still need to sign up for classes, but I have to do this, this, and this. And I'm like, you got to make the phone call. I'm not going to make the phone call for her. And it's not because I don't want to help her. It's because I need her to start doing those steps. Like she's already making her doctor's appointment. She's taken her, I said, here's the app for your prescription. You know, now we have to change her bank account because she's an adult. Like there's all these things. And it's but I also have to remember it's a lot all at once for these kids too. It's a lot that she's had to deal with.
They need a checklist.
Yeah. So,
check this out.
So I'm trying to kind of balance of like, okay, here, but I also want to let her know I am here for her. So it's a balance, but there's certain things that I know are going to be good for her to learn how to do by herself. Yeah. Because it's going to give her strength and confidence that, hey, I got this. Like, and I try to tell her that, like, you got this. You're smart. Like, come on, you got it. Yep. But I do put pressure on her, and I know she can admit that.
So hearing that, I mean, because your mom is our safe space. Hearing that, like, how does that make you feel?
Feels good, I guess.
Confident. Yeah.
But I still need help.
But see, here's the thing. Help is 50%. Okay. Help is 50%. You got to do your part. Again, what we say, here's your toilet paper. Go wipe your own behind. But that, now let me ask you this. Do you think that, because this is what I have seen, because even with my students at the college or some of my clients here, that transition from high school to college, I have a lot of my babies struggling because it's like their parents just go, nope, go ahead.
Some of them do. You're 18 now, you graduated, you're on your own.
And it has been, and that's why I think I've told y'all, even at the college level, I have really taken things back to basics in a lot of things because there's just a lot of missing pieces, I think that. And then a lot of times if they don't have supportive parents or if they don't have anybody, or if they do ask and get told, I told you that last week, like
figure it out on your own. I've seen that before. Figure it out on your own. I did when I was your age, you feeling it.
I hate that when I was your age.
And it's like times have changed since you were and as a parent, I had to remember, I can't parent my kids from when I was your age standpoint. It does not work. They shut down. So.
Well, Aniah, I really appreciate you coming out here and being transparent and hopefully reaching out to some people that, here she is, an 18-year-old, dealt with her own mental health and also into sports and how that's so impactful for kids. So put your kids in sports or groups or classes, something that they could be passionate about. Yes. Because it will help with their mental health. And listen to your kids. Take them into therapy if they're doing things that are not out of their norm. Yes. Kids have a lot of pressures that we may not understand. So get them help. Yes. Just let them talk to somebody.
Yes. Well, and I was just going to say, because there is a lot of stigma with athletics, and I am also a sports psychologist. So, I mean, there's a lot of things that like people can go, oh yeah, use me. I'm licensed, but I'm going to see a sports psychologist because that's like the cool thing, but we can still work on it. You know what I mean? So it's like,
it takes a village. It takes a village. And you have to identify the village. Identify your village. You got to
choose you and however it works for you. Yeah. Put a name on it, put it on it. You can say, I'm going to go see Santa Claus and he's going to help me. Santa Claus is cool. We like seeing Santa Claus, And I'm just, that stigma. It's always that, I know, and that's your thing, like our stigma. Yep. But also I want to say thank you because I know it is hard,
Yes, thank you,
to speak up.
It is.
And, thank you, because it always takes one to start.
And you're speaking for a whole group of people behind you. So you did well.
Yes.
Thank you very much. And thank you for our listeners.
Yeah. Comment down below if you want part 2.